All right. And with us now, let's bring in member of both the Budget and Finance Committee, Senator Debbie Stabenow of Michigan, as chair of the Agriculture Committee. She was one of the Senate Democrats that met at the White House yesterday with President Joe Biden. Senator, thank you so much for being with us. Talk about the meeting yesterday and whether you see a deal that's going to obviously pull in Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema, Hickenlooper, some of the more moderate to conservative new members of your caucus, as well as maybe one or two Republicans.
Well, Joe, first, it's always great to be with you. And I have to tell you that yesterday, walking into the Oval Office with our president and vice president was a breath of fresh air, first of all. I've been in a number of meetings with Donald Trump, and to be in a meeting where the president of the United States not only knows the subject matter, but is giving us detailed numbers on how many people got vaccines in their arms yesterday and the goal today and on, and to have the vice president speaking about what we need to do. We all walked out of there really big smiles on our faces under our masks because we felt like we've got folks that are smart and talented and care. And so now we got to move forward. And let me just start by saying that this proposal of the president's is bipartisan. As you know, you show the numbers. I mean, I think it's something like 3 out of 4 Americans, Democrats, Republicans, Republican governors, Democratic governors, mayors, and so on. It is bipartisan. The question is whether or not some of our Republican colleagues will join us. And so I believe we're going to get this passed. I believe that we want it, certainly. We're going to give every opportunity for Republican colleagues to join us, but we can't give up the focus, which is saving lives by putting vaccines in people's arms and getting direct checks and help for folks to survive this and getting our kids back to school safely. I mean, that's the bottom line. And so we want them to join us, and we will do everything we can to make that happen. But this is bipartisan if you're talking about what folks in the country want.
Yeah, so let's talk about what the president said the past few days. He has said he's going to stick to the $1,400 checks, but has said he'll work with Manchin, Democrats, maybe even some Republicans on trying to make it more targeted. We all heard the horror stories from last year of people getting PPE money that had private jets and turned it around to try to exploit the government. We even saw horror stories over the past couple of weeks of other entities getting a lot of money that they just didn't need. How do we make sure, understanding, and I'm with you here, understanding that these checks need to go out, how do we target it as much as humanly possible so we're not reading these horror stories 6 months from now?
Well, Joe, it's absolutely doable. As you know, having been in Congress, we can, set the income limits that are appropriate. We want to make sure we're helping the middle class, by the way. But what the story showed was sort of that phase out at the end. The top was a couple 150,000, but then it phased out. So somebody making $300,000 may have gotten a check for $5 or $10. I'm not sure, but we should stop that. I mean, they shouldn't be even getting that. So we can target it, and we need to be able to target it. And then I really want to stress something else, and that is, when you look at the numbers over the years, it's real clear. Great story yesterday in the New York Times about the fact that Democratic presidents create more jobs than Republican presidents when you have Democratic policies. And so part of what we're debating right now is a difference where our Republican colleagues think that every problem can be solved with a supply-side tax cut, given to the wealthy Americans. We don't believe that. History shows that doesn't work. What I'm excited about, and it's just harder to get Republicans to support this, is expanding the child tax credit, the earned income tax credit. Do you know this year, Secretary Yellen told us a couple days ago, this year, if we pass this package, we can lift half of the poor children out of poverty in America. Not in 10 years. This year, half the children in America. So that's what we're fighting for. Everybody having a fair shot. making sure everybody knows that somebody's got their back, and they're going to be able to come out of this, and they're going to be able to work hard, and they're going to be able to succeed, and that America isn't just for a few folks, the wealthy and the well-connected.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.